Alternative therapy is one of the main methods that we use at Green Terra in order to improve our life and improve the quality of our life. The alternative therapy methods that I use are all based on this same theory. Every human being on this planet is born with that oneness, pure consciousness. That sense of self where we are one with everyone. There's that loving, that centered feeling. But around the age of 3 or 4 is when the so-called crystallization happens. The crystallization is when the ego is born. The ego develops through some kind of trauma that determined a whole different perspective of who we are. Traumas happened before that as well. And this one doesn't necessarily have to be very big. It can be anything. It can be that we get lost in a shopping mall, or someone shouts at us, or we get scared about something. But its timing is very precise and happens when we're the most vulnerable, and that's when the crystallization happens. The ego forms. From then onwards, we realize that we are not one with everyone else. I'm me, you are you, and we are completely different beings. We put ourselves in this self-defense mechanism, and that's what we work with. After the big transformation of the self, when we realize that we are completely individual beings, we click into a survival mode. So from then onwards, we do have to be aware. We do have to be on guard 24/7. As we age and as we live our lives, we develop layers onto layers onto layers. And whatever comes our way, traumas, bad experiences, anything that's negative, we hold on to them into these layers as blockages. Everyone has their own way and has their own perspective of reality. The blockages and layers are like filters on a glass. So if we look through our life in that glass, we might take certain things in a different way than another person who's experiencing the exact same thing. And this is because we've been through different experiences. We have different layers and we have different blockages. Once we start cleaning those blockages and peeling back the layers, we get closer to ourselves and we understand ourselves better. We understand how we function, why we function that way, what triggers us and why it triggers us. There's a much deeper subconscious understanding, and that defines us. As I mentioned, everyone is born with that pure sense of oneness, that pure loving feeling. That's still inside of us. It's in our center. That's who we actually are. But all those layers and all those blockages are keeping us from feeling who we actually are, keeping us from realizing, because we've already forgotten that a long time ago. And this is what we need to remind ourselves about. At the end of the day, everything is energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our mind is always projecting energy around us. So through our pure being, we are able to change the energy around us, change the energy in our body, change the energy in our life. Whatever is happening to us, our experiences, they're all projected through our pure consciousness. That's how strong and powerful we are. That's how strong our mind is. But we have those filters and we have those blockages that are blocking it, that are keeping us from fulfilling ourselves, from working our energies in the most specific ways possible, the ways that we want to. Through alternative therapy, we not only learn who we are to our deepest core and what programs have been running our life all this time, but we are also able to clear those and change the perspective of life, and through that, change our life as well. So we can change health issues that we have. We can change physical and mental health. We can change relationship problems. We can change finance problems. We can change problems with our work, problems with anything that we have, because those are all about us. Those are all about the filters that we carry and all about the blockages that we've been carrying for so long. With the techniques that I work with Tibetan Reiki and alternative therapy, we can go deeper into the subconsciousness and understand how we are built up, how our ego is built up, and what layers we have, what blockages we have. So you'll be able to experience through your own self and through your perspective what makes you think the way you think, what makes you work the way you work, what triggers you. As we peel back the layers and clean those blockages, we are able to see a difference in our perspective, a shift in our reality. We'll be able to notice changes in our lives. Green Terra Alternative Healthcare and Life Improvement is all about improving ourselves and improving our lives. So every method that we work with does help this cause. The Indian palm leaves and the Vedic astrology is all about what we need to prepare for, what kind of future awaits us, what we can do in order to change that, what we can do in order to improve our life through Vedic astrology and through the Indian palm leaves. But there's also a free will that I've talked about in the past in my previous video. So the life element theory does talk about the free will. In our life, we have certain things that we have to go through, certain experiences that we will have to live through. But with the free will, we can decide what level of consciousness we go through that experience with. And if we've already experienced that and we have that blockage in our energy system, how we can work to improve that and clean that out so that blockage will no longer be running our lives. If you'd like to make changes in your life, if you'd like to improve yourself, improve certain areas of your life, feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to set up an appointment for a consultation where we can go through what the surface carries for you, what kind of blockages you have, what kind of energies you have. After the first consultation, you'll have a much clearer understanding of what's running your life and what kind of changes you can make.